Hello one and all to another episode of Deep Lore. Since the past few weeks the topics have been a little bit on the dark side, I think we'll break from normal schedule for a bit of a light-hearted conspiracy. Don't worry, normal sinister content will be back next video, but this would have to get covered at some point as it's quite prevalent on the icebergs. That is, the mystery of Arnold Schwarzenegger's real height. Before we dive in, I just want to say thank you for all the support I've received, all of which helps with the cryptic YouTube algorithm, which in turn keeps pushing me to make more content. We're almost at 500 subscribers and I greatly appreciate every new person and old person here. If you are new here and enjoy this kind of content, please consider subscribing, liking, and perhaps sharing this with some other people. New videos every Wednesday and Sunday. Thank you. Arnold's real height has been somewhat of a mystery since his acting career took off. There has been various comparisons against other actors yielding constantly different answers. Journalists have been trying to work it out for decades. People have accused him of lying about his height to further add to his macho figure. Some people believe that he wears boots with incredibly deep soles to increase his height by a few inches. A more scientific reason for artificially increasing his height was described in the Washington Post, which stated that taller politicians, which Arnold is, have a 3-to-1 advantage over shorter politicians when it comes to votes. Men's Health published an article correcting the heights of various actors and showing that even people in the acting career see the benefits of publishing fake heights. They stated that Arnold was 5'10", not 6'2", Charles Bronson was 5'7", and not 5'11", and Burt Reynolds was 5'8", and not 5'11". His official height is recorded as 6 foot 1.5 inches, roughly, but people who decide to investigate this stuff have not been satisfied with the answer. One particular journalist used his wife as a reference, who had met Arnold in person. She said that he was barely taller than her height being 5'6", whereas the famous film critic Roger Ebert dismissed the official number of 6'1", and guessed his height was around 5'10" or 5'11". There have been plenty of anecdotal statements about Arnold's height, with one user on an Arnold fan forum saying that his friend used to train with him in the 1970s, and he would put Arnold's height at no taller than 5'11". Thankfully, in 2008, Arnold was asked this question in an interview, and that would hopefully clear everything up. I will now quote from the interview. Schwarzenegger: I used to be 6'1" and 3/4, and I think now I'm 6'1". I shrank. Bronstein: what happened? Schwarzenegger: I don't know what happened. And the reason why I know is not because I'm measuring myself, but we do have a wall in my closet that we have always used when kids came in as they grew up. I would write their initials down and the date, and I would put, a book or something on their head, and I would make the little line with a Sharpie. And so, of course, every so often, especially lately, since my daughters are almost my height, they say, let me measure you. And so I stood against the wall, and they put a book on my head, and drew the line. And the next thing they measured with a tape measure, and they said, you're 6'1". You're only 6'1". You told us you were 6'1 3/4. I said, do it again. Excuse me. Do it again. This is crazy. So I stood again, and I made myself really tall, and I stretched my neck, and I did the whole thing, and was really against the wall, and I straightened out my back, and the chest out, and she came in and said, it's only 1/8 of an inch more, but you're still 6'1". This was the end of the interview, and despite this interview, people are still denying the claim of Arnold being over 6 foot. But luckily, we have a somewhat satirical site, arnoldheight.com, who jokingly claims to have over 200 scientists working on discovering the height. Although, until now, their results have been somewhat lackluster, claiming that they only can safely say that he's somewhere between 5'9" and 6'2". Thank you for watching this episode of Deep Lore. Hopefully, it's left you wanting to view more content. Please leave a like if you enjoyed it, and subscribe if you haven't done so yet. I would appreciate it if you could share it with your friends. After all, why leave the comfort of the VCR when we're only at the tip of the iceberg? There are still plenty more video cassettes left to watch.